left's global warming scam. This is not a video about policy. This is about corruption, pure and simple. And it's becoming organized, systemic, and in California is done largely with state approval. What happens is that under the international cap and trade system, and California has voted for its own cap and trade system, you can get credit for not doing anything on a piece of land. If you have a land and you are not going to develop it, you're not going to build a factory on it, you're not going to farm it, you're not going to do anything with it, you are theoretically saving the earth a certain quantity of carbon emissions that you're not going to use. And you can then sell those unused emissions to some factory someplace abroad or in the US, which is spewing carbon into the air, and basically give them your right to pollute. It goes back to sort of the system of papal indulgences in the Middle Ages, where people used to pay the church in order to be able to commit a sin or be forgiven for a sin that they committed. You can imagine the price list on that one. And so this is very much like that. You sell to a company your right to pollute and pledge not to use it on your own territory. So what's happening now in California is the Air Resources Board, which is a state agency set up by the state, but is a Delaware corporation. Under the rules of the corporate charter, nobody can know anything about the finances of this entity, and it is by state legislation explicitly immune from legislative oversight. And what they do is they go to a farmer who owns 100 acres of land, and they say, hey, we're going to increase your taxes, we're going to reduce the uses you can make of your land, we're going to penalize you for your carbon emissions. And the farmer says, you're going to put me out of business. And they say, yeah, that's true. But if of your 100 acres you sold us 90, you could keep 10, you could farm the 10, and we'd cut your taxes, we'd give you tax-free status, and you could go find something else to do for a living. In the meantime, give us the 90 acres at cost or for a reduced price. And the farmers, with their arms twisted, are increasingly saying, yes, here's the land. Well, what the California Air Resources Board is doing is it then is taking that land and selling the right to emit carbon from it to a company in France or Germany or someplace else in the world which is polluting. And the Air Resources Board gets the money for that. And it is not accountable in how it spends the money to any public body. It is permitted by statute to spend it on anything that will reduce climate change, like new railroads or other kinds of stuff. But that's a fairly eclectic definition. And it is also permitted to involve private sponsors in the deal. There's a rumor that Senator Dianne Feinstein is in on it, but again, there's no proof because the records are not public. But you can have someone come in, get a piece of land, sell the right to pollute on it, and make money from it. Now, what are they using this land for? This is where it gets really unbelievable. They are literally taking land out of cultivation, away from agriculture, away from industrial or manufacturing uses, and giving it to the animals. They are creating what they call animal rights of way, animal highways, where a bear can walk from Southern California to Oregon, and there's a corridor that the bear can follow. They're even building bridges over the highways for the bear to cross, so that he neither endangers himself nor the motorists. And all of this is in the name of climate change. It really all stems, this nonsense stems from something called Agenda 21, which was a policy adopted by the United Nations in 1992. We write about it in our book Screwed and in our other book, Here Come the Black Helicopters. And its goal is to move everybody into the cities, increase density, get people off rural areas, close down the suburbs, and basically make it unnecessary for anyone ever to use a car. You can walk, you can use public transportation, because the density would be so high. And it promotes policies ranging from pedestrian walkways to smaller size apartments to stacking people higher and higher in buildings. And this Agenda 21 which is designed to take rural areas out of habitation and cultivation and make them forever wild, is part and parcel of that policy. And it really is a policy to control how we live. And it is totally unnecessary. As you've heard in previous videos, our carbon emissions are down 20% below the 2007 levels. We've cut vehicle mileage by 14% since the year 2000. Our vehicle efficiency has doubled in the last few years, average gas efficiency. And we are not emitting carbon. We're replacing coal with natural gas. And even if we were, as I explained in my last climate change video, while global warming is proceeding, the models that suggest that it would proceed exponentially are proving inaccurate. And the increase is likely to be 1 degree centigrade between now and 2100, which won't bother anybody, won't cause any flooding, and won't cause any serious increase in sea levels. So this is absolutely a ripoff, and it's now in California, and believe me, it's coming soon to a state near you. Thanks a lot.